All right. Hi, team. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today on this Monday. It's July 17th. And I wanted to really just start off with letting you guys know that today, or I'm not sure if it's today, but I think it's July 24th issue of OK Magazine and Star Magazine have the actual product spotlight or whatever it's actually called in the magazine. So again, I think it's the July 24th or July 27th issue. So it's the one that's probably out like this week or in the next couple of days because people have been getting it in the mail from what I understand. So if you guys want to go grab copies of that, I'm going to probably go after this call and see if I can find any at the grocery store later on tonight. But I'm sorry, not Us Weekly, but in Star Magazine and OK Magazine, I believe it's the July 24th or 27th issue that's coming out, and it's got a little product spotlight section in there. So definitely try to go get those and just have them on hand. It'll be fun to have those for the future and just be able to use. So obviously keep using and keep marketing the Us Weekly partnership. You guys can still be posting the Facebook Live video that they did for us and continuing to talk to people about that whole partnership as a whole. It's been really helpful for a couple of people that I've spoken to and have been speaking to. I've been talking all day. I'm tired. But since it began, really. And so now it's almost just giving us a little bit more legitimacy and a little bit more brand recognition. And so people are actually kind of coming around and they're more interested now. So sometimes that just matters to people, and it's really great that we have that connection now. So definitely be using that to your advantage. I emailed out also this afternoon to all of the brand representatives and all the customers that are in my team. So that was my customers and your customers, as well as yourself. You probably saw the email, reminding everyone that the sunscreen promotion was still going on until the end of this month. And so for the pricing on that, it's $49.50 for retail customers. It's regularly priced at $55. And so for retail customers, it's $49.50. For preferred customers, it's $44. And for brand representatives, which is us, we get it for $39.50, I believe is the price. So definitely take advantage of that. I've had a lot of people that have been raving about it. I actually followed up with a bunch of people before this phone call today, and the feedback that I'm getting is just so positive and so exciting. And so I'm hoping that later on this evening or even tomorrow, I'll have a few more orders to place for the sunscreens themselves. So keep pushing along with that too as well. One thing that I think this is the basis of what I want to discuss with you guys tonight, and hopefully this will help you. But I've been noticing in my conversations with people that I either meet for the first time, or I haven't maybe seen them in a while and I happen to run into them, or maybe, it's someone who's been even just a couple of months that you've seen them. And they always probably will ask you, especially if it's a new person that you've just met, or someone who you haven't seen in a couple of years, or whatever the case may be. 9 times out of 10, one of the first initial icebreakers in having a conversation with someone is, what are you doing for work these days? Or what are you doing for work? Or another way that they may phrase it is just, what are you doing these days? So the last couple of times I've had that happen to me, well, I shouldn't say the last couple of times, but the majority of the time when I do have that happen to me, my response and my answer sort of goes along like this. So I'm going to give you an example of what happened on Saturday when I was at a friend's house in the afternoon, and he had a little get-together barbecue pool party thing that I went to, and I ran into a guy that I used to work with back in a previous company about five years ago, I guess. And one of the things he sat there and asked me, he was like, well, what are you up to for work these days? Like, what are you doing? And so I told him, I said, I've been in medical sales for about the last 4 years, but what I'm really excited about and what I'm really passionate about is this company that I've been partner or that I've worked for, we also developed a genetic-based skincare company. And so what we do is we take the swab of your cheek, we analyze your genes and see how your skin's truly going to age. And then we're able to pair it with our products to match those aging ailments. And remind you, this was a guy, okay? So never discount guys in this whole situation. He thought it was like the most fascinating thing. And I think it's because of the clinical side, maybe, that where guys get a little bit more intrigued about it because it's more scientific, which they maybe not feel so like, I don't know, girly because they're using products on their skin. But, it went as easy as that. It went to just, what are you doing for work these days? And I told him, well, I've been in medical sales, but really what I'm excited about and what I'm passionate about is our genetics-based skincare company. And I just gave him literally, it was probably 10 seconds, and I told him what it was. And he tried to hand me his credit card right then and there. And I'm like, whoa. Like, well, we can give me your address, give me your email address, give me your phone number and all that. And then we'll touch bases on Monday. And we'll get you all set up. And so I talked to him today and ordered his DNA test plus 3 product kit. So point and the moral of my story is that, for instance, Hannah, who's on this call, she's going into a field of child life specialty, which is an amazing industry and career. And we need more people like her on this earth. But ultimately, something that she could say and pitch is, depending upon who she's talking to, but she could say, I'm a child life specialist, and I really enjoyed that. But something else that I do as well is I am a brand representative for a genetics-based skincare company. And it's just as simple as that, because as much as Hannah's career in child life specialty will be interesting, people will probably want to know more about the genetics-based skincare company. So, for everything that we do, obviously there's a balance, right? You got to know your audience and know who you're talking to, but there's no wrong, or there's no reason why, I guess, you shouldn't be able to just open that conversation with telling people what it is that you do, because technically you do sell targeted skin and you are a brand representative for us. And so I just kind of wanted to hopefully explain that well enough to where you guys understood what I was trying to say. But there's no harm, no foul in when you're having a conversation with someone and they ask you, what are you doing these days? Or what are you doing for work? Tell them what you're doing maybe in your day job, but then also let them know, hey, I've also become really passionate about this DNA-based skincare company that I've become a brand representative for. And, it's just a phenomenal concept and I'm getting great results. It's as easy as that. And you literally don't even have to go into explaining it to them, because they'll probably ask you, what the heck is that? Tell me more about that. So that's really the basis of what I really wanted to talk about, but I want to open it up to questions that you guys have surrounding that, and maybe asking me, certain situations that you guys have come up with that you might want to help with navigating, or verbiage on speaking to someone in a certain similar situation, possibly. So feel free to unmute yourself if you want.
Well, this is Jane. Can you hear me?
Hi, Jane. Yeah, I can.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to tell you about 2 incidents that happened, the last 2 days, actually.
Good.
I had a client, I've got a client that I talked to her about it before, and she's kind of like, well, yeah, I've had my stuff, and, whatever, I'm okay, Jane, but no thanks. Well, they have a place in the Ozarks, which is a lake in Missouri, and then they just bought a big boat. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to take her, whether she thinks I'm being too pushy, I'm going to take her a sample of our sunscreen, because her and her 2 little girls, she's got like a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they're always out on the boat. And I thought, I'm just going to take them. Of course, I'm a big fan of the sunscreen. I'm just going to take her a sample, see what she says. So I went up to her house and went to the door, and I said, Jess, I said, I just want to, since you've got the boat and you're always at the Ozarks every weekend, I just want to give you a sample of the sunscreen. And she said, well, okay, well, thanks. I said, no, I'm not pushing it. I know you didn't want to try the other stuff, but I just thought you'd try it. And I'll be honest, when I left, I thought she's just going to throw it away. She's not even going to try to sample it. Well, the next day, 2 days later, I got a text. She said, Jane, how do I order this? I absolutely love it. And I love this smell. I love everything about it.
That's
And
awesome.
she did. I got a message just saying she did get online and buy some, and it really surprised me.
That's amazing.
Then I know, I was like, yes. Then also I had a client who just texted me yesterday. She listened to, when we first came out, started like last fall, remember? I had her listen, her and another girl just listened to Amy and you guys speak one night. It was open Wednesdays. You know how you did that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she sat in, and her husband's also a client of mine. I work him out and I work her out too. And she was so funny. She texted me yesterday and she said, Jane, I want to get a test of your DNA. I want you to do the DNA. I want to buy the product. And I said, great. She said, Phil just said to me, you know what? Why don't you get on that stuff that Jane's on? And so, he must, and she said, so he must think I have wrinkles or something, that she said, can we meet this week? So I'm meeting with her Wednesday and going to do a DNA swap. And I thought, I had contact with them, which I have contact with them all the time, but just about, the targeted skin. And we had discussed on how much is too pushy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, right there. I didn't really push much. I just offered it. So that's kind of something good that I've had happen this week.
That's awesome. I love that. I love those stories. And, it's interesting because, this last year, I mean, if you count our soft launch that we had in May of last year, so we've been around a year and 2 months, right? This business and this industry, especially in the direct sales arena where we sell directly to the consumer, it takes a significant amount of time for a business to build and for people to really come around and understand that you are a company, you're going to stick around, and like, we're not going anywhere. And so I think the common theme here is that we all just really need to have consistency and just continue to, be true to our company and our product and be passionate about it. And, one thing that I like to do is make sure that I post, and it's just once a week. I do it on Tuesdays. I call it my Targeted Tuesday is what I've started doing. But posting to social media just one day a week. So it's not like I'm doing it every single day and it's in people's faces and it's, all over the place. But just one day out of the week where I post something about targeted skin. And so, like I said, I'm not throwing up on people constantly 24/7, but I am at least letting them know that I'm consistent with this and this is something that I'm going to do and will be doing on a regular basis. And it's not going to go away. So you sort of become that targeted skin person to a lot of people, and they'll start to come back around. So what I'm finding now is that, a lot of the work that I put in initially in the last, even 6 months or so, the fruits of those labors are starting to kind of come full circle. So I guess my story with that is just never give up and keep pushing forward and just be consistent with your message, I guess.
Yeah, and Shannon, this is your mother. If I could dovetail off of that, I actually took a real estate class today, and the class was called Next Steps, and it's just so amazing how my real estate business parallels this.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that we talked about is taking a long-term approach.
Yeah.
And, like with real estate, 70% of the realtors that get their license don't last 2 years.
Right.
So the timeline that we talked about here's a quote from Tony Robbins. We tend to overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in a decade.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think, when we look back, 10 years from now, where targeted skin was and where it will be, or in 10 years, I think will be amazing. But and then he broke it down, like 1 to 3 years, you establish a solid base of customers. 3 to 5 years, you expand that base. 5 to 8 years, you be a dominant player in the market. And 8 to 10 years to be a real professional.
Yeah.
So it's like you said, it's the consistency.
Yep.
And, you helped me just a little while ago with trying to figure out the balance too between the two professions. And I know Hannah can relate to this because she's going to be, a child life specialist and doing the targeted skin. But you have to have a weekly plan and just stick to it. And, I spent time between my call with you and now just figuring out what the rest of this week is going to look like, when I'm going to devote time to targeted skin and when I'm going to devote time to real estate. And so, I think a lot of women getting into targeted skin have like a primary profession, and targeted skin, not that it's secondary, but it's something that we also do. And
right.
We have to definitely train them on how to balance both of them to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
well, and it's funny that you mentioned Tony Robbins, and I'm not the biggest fan of him, I will say that, but I do feel like he's got some great points, some stuff that he talks about. But this gal Alice, we met her while we were in Dallas, Mom and Hannah, you weren't with us, but she used to be Tony Robbins' like right-hand person, who for like years traveled all over with him, was basically his assistant, and directed him on where he needed to go, where he needed to be. So obviously she's heard all of his talks and speeches and presentations and all that kind of stuff over and over and over. And one of the things that she's been in network marketing now. She actually left working with him, and she's been in network marketing now. She works for, or sells energy for, it's an energy company out of Texas. They don't have it here in Arizona, but her main theme and main, I guess, lesson for when she did the call with Kim a while back, which is I still have the recording of it if you guys want it, but her main, I guess, message was just really being consistent and persistent over time. Mm-hmm. And, the fruits of your labor will start to, be shown. Yeah. So we just have to remain and be that person. And Jane, I know you kind of hopped off there real quick. I don't know if you got cut off, but one of the things I mentioned about just being consistent and persistent was, something that I do on a regular basis is posting just once a week. I do it on Tuesdays. I call it my targeted Tuesday. And I just do a post about either one of the products or the special for the sunscreen or something about Us Weekly or whatever the case may be. But I don't do it too much to where people will be annoyed by it. But I also try to take an educated approach to what I'm talking about too as well. So it's not just, hey, look how amazing we are, buy our products. It's, hey, did you know that vitamin C is such and such and such? Or, hey, here's some information about how we partnered with Us Weekly. Or, we can do a bunch of different stuff. And using Targeted Skin's Facebook page, you guys can use those too as well. Just screenshot it and then crop it, and you can repost it to your own Facebook page. You don't even really have to think of content. So,
well, I've got a girl. I told you I had a girl. We were supposed to meet last Friday, and I had to cancel. But hopefully, we're going to meet this Friday, and she's going to show me how I can download off Facebook. And I want to start doing that. What you're doing, like once a week or so.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
Yeah, because you're really good about your workout stuff too, as well. Through your social medias also. But you either use that or you start another one, or do whatever you're comfortable with. But even on your Facebook, you can certainly just post something once a week and let it be what it is, just so that it's still in front of people's faces that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I do.
Yeah. So anybody else have any comments or anything? Questions? Okay. Well, next week, yes, we will have a call. So I was trying to think what the date was. But yes, we will be on for next week, which is going to be, what's the date? The 24th. So, and next week, you guys, if you want to invite somebody to be on, whether it's a potential brand rep or a potential customer, just let me know if they're going to be on. And then maybe once you see them, hop on too as well. If you can, I can see all the phone numbers here too. And usually I recognize them, but If you want to invite someone to be on the call with us, then I'm happy to go through a quick, just, less than 5-minute spiel on targeted skin and the brand rep opportunity if it's someone that's interested in that. So feel free to share that, and we'll kind of use this as a little double whammy for a call each week. Okay?
Okay. Shannon, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Like when you did that FaceTime with me last week, you don't have a recording of that, do you?
I do not.
Okay. Is there out there, I've got a girl, we just kind of corresponded today, and she's actually in Washington, the state of Washington, on vacation, and she literally texted me and said, I'm really interested in this product. Can you FaceTime me? I'm on vacation out here, but I want to FaceTime this week. And I thought, yeah, we can FaceTime, but I thought if I could send her your link, I sent her the link about what US Weekly said, but I wanted to send her a link or something of you, Amy, somebody, if there's a taped one that can literally tell her about it.
I have a recording that I did that I can send you.
Okay. Okay.
It's just like I put it up on YouTube, and so it's just a link to the YouTube video, and it talked about everything. So,
okay.
Maybe if you want to send that to her and she can watch it, and then
that's what I'm thinking.
We can even do a 3-way call, you, I, and her.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if we would be able to FaceTime that, but we could at least call her, or what we can do is we can use this Zoom meeting too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Or just a call.
Yeah.
So let me feel her out a little bit and see what she really, what she's got on her mind before I go and, have to take your time to do it if she's not interested in anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll send you that video link though. Anyways, I've got it saved, so I can just forward it to you.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
You emailed me that link too?
Yep.
Okay, that'd be great.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Well, have a good week and keep selling.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the grocery store.
Skin.
I'm going to the grocery store to find the magazines.
All right, perfect.
Well,
let me know if you find them.
Hey, girls, I will say I was out and looked at the magazine. I think the Star one's already out. I already bought the OK one, or the one magazine was out last week.
Okay.
I already bought it because I showed it at my party. But I looked and I think it's Star, but I didn't get it because I'd already bought all my stuff, and I said I'll be back and get it.
Okay.
So I think it's Star or OK that it is in right now.
Okay.
Or out, right?
We'll go. Yeah, and it's just a little tiny, it's not tiny, but it's probably a quarter of a page. So it's not like a full page advertisement. That might have been why I missed it the last time I went and checked, but I'm going to go too as well. See if I can find them at the store. So, all right, ladies, thanks for jumping on.
Okay.
And I will talk to you guys next week. Call me in the meantime if you have any questions.
All right. Thanks, Shannon.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.